UFC 304 was last weekend, and there's been a lot of fallout from that event, but maybe one of the things that's been talked about the most this week isn't the titles at the top of the event, but it's actually Muhammad Mokaev, a flyweight that got released from the UFC despite being undefeated, despite being really young, despite being projected as many as a future champion. He got cut by the UFC, and there's a lot of theories of why that happened. Some have been debunked, others, it's hard to totally tell exactly why the UFC released him. I'm not going to go into that in this video. There's a lot of other videos you can watch about that. But what I want to talk about in this video is, where is Muhammad Mokaev going to go next? What are exactly his options right now as a free agent? I think there's actually probably a pretty good chance that he actually re-signs with the UFC. And the only reason I say that is because he's got a fantastic manager with Tim Simpson. And I think that there's a chance that they could talk to the UFC, Muhammad, Tim, the UFC brass, and settle things out, smooth things out, find out what went wrong. And I think that they actually could re-sign him to the organization. I think he still has a lot of value to the UFC. But I would say that's less than a 50% chance. What I think is more likely is that he's going to go to another organization. And why I'm even making this video is because there's some folks that have, I guess, hypothesized that he could go to one championship. After all, they have taken a couple other UFC flyweight cast-offs like Jared Brooks and Demetrius Johnson. I know that was a trade, but overall, they were kind of looking to get out of the Demetrius Johnson business anyways, and the trade just kind of worked out in their favor. It's possible that he could go to one championship, but I don't think that it's actually all that likely, and here's why. Basically, one championship has had a really big problem signing top MMA fighters. I mean, when was really the last time one signed a big MMA fighter? They've probably gone after a lot of fighters that are free agents, but they really haven't signed any, at least any big names to multi-fight deals. The last one I can think of was Roberto Soldic back in like 2022, and he was supposed to help bring a one championship event to Croatia. That has not worked out. It doesn't seem like it's going to. His run has not been that great in the promotion as well, and he hasn't fought for a while. And that also kind of seems to be the problem with a lot of one championship fighters, is that they either are kind of being given fights over and over, or the majority of fighters are just kind of put on the shelf. And there's a lot of fighters and a lot of managers that have had it with one championship that are really mad at them and don't want to do business with them and are looking to get their fighters out of there. I know a couple of the big management firms really don't like working with them. Others just like, I've had managers told me in general, like, yeah, we're not going to work with one championship. Don't expect any of my fighters to ever sign with one. Had more than one person tell me that. Muhammad Mokaev, with as good of a manager as Tim Simpson, surely Tim is aware of all that goes on with one, and I'm guessing probably he's not going to go to them. Who knows if they can work something out? I wouldn't advise it, but I think more likely, I think you have a better chance of seeing Muhammad Mokaev go to Ryzen than I think you do one championship. They're on fire right now, and I think that Muhammad Mokaev could fit into that promotion. I think the most likely place for Mokaev is somewhere like ACA over in Russia. He's already got the Ramzan Kadyrov connection, and that promotion seems to have a lot of money to throw at their big stars. So I think there's a chance you could see him go to ACA. I don't know what Tim Simpson would have to say about that, how he feels about the organization, since they do have some red flags that go along with them as well, being associated with Ramzan Kadyrov. If not there, you could see him go to Brave, where he was once a champion. So that's what I think. I think either ACA, or after that, I would say next most likely would be Ryzen. So let's see what happens. We could even see him back in the UFC if they're able to sort things out. Leave a comment below where you think Muhammad Mokaev is going to end up next. We'll see you next time.